Hello, hello, hello. And it's the last day of February. So well done for making it through the sort of winter months really. And it's a new moon today and the planets are aligning and I feel as aligned as the planets. I really do. And that's a complete and natural high. So I'm totally celebrating that. I've had an amazing day. I woke up this morning, I had a good night's sleep. Hi, Louise. I'm celebrating making a small decision, but making it well after all my decision making crisis of yesterday, where I just felt I couldn't make any decisions at all. And slept well last night. I got an extra sort of half an hour to myself this morning because Liam was coming around to walk Sophie, so I didn't have to walk her. I'd got a client call at 10 o'clock. So I did my morning exercises. Hi, Dolores. I did my morning exercises. And then I went back to bed onto my Shakti mat. I've created myself, and I do this for my clients as well, a visualization of a future memory. And the idea of having a visualization of a future memory, what I do is I take the listener down a nice relaxed space using breath work, using affirmations, using the I am safe idea, and just getting yourself in a nice, safe, relaxed space. And then I've got a process, and it's a beautiful process of connecting into a future memory that you would like to be. So a future place where everything's worked out for you. And what we do, I take you through a process in order to create this memory, to actually work out what your memory is. And then I describe it for you. And I've done that for myself. And I've got a beautiful, it's only like 13 minutes long. So it's not a long piece. But in my future memory, I'm running around a lake. I'm running barefoot around the lake, and then I jump into the lake and go for a swim and lie on my back and watch the birds. And as part of it, I connect in with all of my senses and really feel what it feels like to be in there. And the idea of doing this visualization is that I'm using the work of Joe Dispenza, where he talks about being crystal clear on your vision, but also feeling emotionally connected to that picture, like it's happening, like you're already attached to it. And sometimes when I listen to it, my mind goes elsewhere, and I'm not as fully connected as I could be. Sometimes I have a little doze off. Sometimes I can connect into it well. But this morning I just really connected in with it. I even got tearful. I got so emotional. I got tears coming up as I really felt what it feels like to jump off a log and have my legs bend so I'm able to jump up and down. It feels like the simplest thing, but when I haven't been able to do that for so long, and I really got into a space of how it would feel, how appreciative I would be of. It's like losing something and then finding it again. The silliest little things, isn't it? Losing your keys and then finding them again. Yeah. I did it a couple of times with my pills nightclubbing, where I'd hidden down my pants to get in there, and then I'd gone to the toilet and rushed to the loo and then dropped them, and then came back and realised that I'd lost my pills, devastated, and then gone back in and found them, and then being, obviously we were on a bit of a high then anyway, so that it was even higher. So that's probably not a very naturally aligned description of losing something and finding it something, but you just feel higher after you've found it. It's almost worse than losing it to feel how wonderful it is to have found it again. And that's how I was feeling in my visualization this morning. So I was really connected to it emotionally. And then I got up and had a shower, and I had a coaching call with a client, and it was such a positive call. It really was. It After the doubts I've been having over the last couple of days, the imposter syndrome and the comparisonitis after meeting this woman Karen Dwyer, who's running her program and spending charging a lot of money for it and having lots of people go through, and me feeling I wasn't good enough. And this felt like just it was such a positive call, and he was getting it's a 12-week program that he's going through with me, and this was week 8, so we're really getting through it, and he's really finding it beneficial. So I was really excited about that. And then my friend Anne came over for a visit, and we went out to the Tuning Fork, which is a very nice restaurant local to me. And I was when she arrived, I was telling her about the conversations I've been having with myself about what I wanted to eat and didn't want to eat, and the to-ing and fro-ing around eating coffee and drinking coffee and eating cake, and things that are good for you and things that are bad for you. And it's been quite exhausting. And what I was reminded of, and what I explained to her when I worked with the naturopath a few years ago, when I first, in the early stages of this journey of mine, she explained, she used an analogy of having everybody's got it's almost like a bucket in your body that can deal with your toxins. So we all receive toxins on a daily basis, and in the world that we're now in, there's more and more toxins, which is probably one of the reasons there's more and more people getting illnesses. And our body can cope with so much. We've got our liver and our kidneys and our lymph systems and our, I don't know, the pancreas. Does that? Yeah, there's other organs in our body that help clear out the toxins. But so it's almost like a bucket. If you imagine like your bucket is, most of the time, if you're healthy, your body can deal with any toxins that comes in its way. But every now and again, maybe there's more toxins than it's used to, and it overflows. And when you've got a chronic illness, it's like the bucket is not able to cope with the amount of toxins anymore. Either the bucket shrunk, or really probably more likely is the toxins have got too much for it, and it overflows into our body and causes us symptoms. And that sort of makes sense to me. So a lot of what I've been doing over the last 7 years, after I've taken full responsibility for my own health and happiness, is to reduce those toxins. And I've been doing those by changing what I put into my body in the way of diet, taking out things that I know are toxic, like sugar, like alcohol, like smoke, and also changing what I put into my body. So I no longer use normal deodorants. I've got a rock salt deodorant that I use. I'm very careful about what products I use on my body, about what cleaning materials I use, washing powder, that type of thing. Sorry, my bed's getting a bit hot. Let's turn the bed down a little bit. And also what goes into my, what I allow into my world with regarding to who I'm hanging out with and what I'm watching on TV. Well, I don't have a TV anymore, but what I'm watching through media. I don't watch the news anymore because, again, a lot of the stories, well, all the stories in the news are filled with fear, which causes us toxins. It's toxic. So I was reminded of this toxin bucket, if you like, or ability to hold toxins in our body, and realised that my whole what I'm trying to do with my food is to take out as many toxins as possible. And while I'm doing really well on that, and my toxin levels are definitely much, much reduced than they were 7 years ago, my body's still playing catch up, if you like, with the trying to release the toxins. And the cleanse that I've done recently and other cleanses that I've done have helped as part of that. But it's, it's taken years to get a chronic illness. It doesn't just happen overnight. So therefore it can take a long while to clear out the toxins and get rid of that. And toxins can also come in the way of traumas as well, depending, how you've experienced life really, and how you've taken. We've all experienced trauma of some part. It might be big traumas or little traumas, but you don't get through life without experiencing some sort of trauma, and how our bodies reacted to that can cause toxicity as well. So there's a lot that I'm still discovering. Hi Avinda, hi Trisha, which is just talking about toxins in the body. And the last year not the last year, but certainly since the beginning of 2025, I've reduced the toxins even further. So if ever I went out before, and I do like going out and eating out, I love having somebody else cook for me basically, because I cook for myself most of the time. And so I'm always very careful now about where I eat, choosing places that I know are just a better quality of food, really, rather than going to cheap and cheerful where it's, they don't really think about it. And because I'd taken dairy out of my food, I discovered oat milk lattes in the way of coffee, and I really like them. But the problem with oat milk lattes is you're still drinking coffee, and that's a toxin as well, especially when you're dealing with an overactive bladder, because caffeine ignites the bladder a little bit and irritates the bladder. And oat milk, most processed oat milks have got, they're not as pure and as clean as we would like to think they are when you actually look at what's included in there. Certainly the ones they use in coffee shops and stuff like that. I've got a powdered oat milk that I use here, which has just got 3 ingredients in, which is just oat, a little bit of salt, and some coconut oil, which gives it its creaminess, which is nice. So I haven't been drinking oat milk lattes. If I go out anywhere, which has not been as often as I used to, I've had a robust tea or some sort of herbal tea, and even those you think are really good are not as well. They're not as pure as water, but it's making the choices, isn't it, of what's best for you. And this morning or this afternoon, when me and Anne went down to the tuning fork and I decided, I made a choice that I wanted an oat milk latte, and I made that choice and just decided I'm making that choice. I'm going to be happy with that choice. I'm going to be aligned with that choice, and I'm going to enjoy that choice. And I did. And I really celebrated that, because it felt like, no, it's not massive. I chose to have a coffee and I had one. But the fact that I celebrated it and just recognised that actually it was okay. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to send my toxicity levels over the top, and I can clean out. And then I had a super aligned lunch. It was gluten-free, dairy-free, really good food. And then when Anne decided to have a pudding, I didn't. And I didn't feel bad for not having one either. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. And that's like, I know it sounds little, but it felt massive. So I feel like I've turned a corner with my decision making. So I'm super celebrating that. And then this afternoon, we came back and another friend joined me online, and we did a new moon ceremony and picked out a lovely oracle card from our moonology deck, which was really positive. We did a little burning ceremony of letting things go. We set some intentions because this is the last new moon before the spring equinox. So it's a wonderful time to set your intentions. And there was a beautiful meditation that I found on YouTube. I can share it with you on the group because it's 12 minutes, I think. But it was a really nice visualization of literally planting seeds of what you would like to grow as we move into spring. And with all the planetary stuff that's going on out there, it's a beautiful time to be sowing your intentions. So today I feel like I'm on a high, like I've had a brownie, and I haven't had a brownie. So I'm super excited because I also know that these feelings, you don't stay on the ceiling forever. You don't stay high forever. There's going to be low times as well. But I think the last couple of weeks has really taught me that actually you can go through the low times and feel low and feel scared and feel doubtful, and then you can come out the other side and feel hopeful and excited, and it's all, let's say it's all a journey. It is. And it's very easy to feel whatever low emotion is going on and feel like that's the end of the world. And it's just part of the day, really. In a moment, anything can change, everything can change. And using the Blignite acronym, this is day 89 where I've been coming on and sharing it with you, has definitely been part of me navigating that journey. And even though when I've had days over the last, I don't know, you've been here with me, if you've been listening, the last 89 days I've had some challenging stuff going on, but going through the Blignite acronym has really helped, and sharing my experiences with you has been really helpful. So thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it. So let's do a bit of Bligniting then. Take a nice big deep breath in, and then just allow the breath to go out. And as your breath gets released, allow your body to feel fully relaxed and feel held by Mother Earth, because the earth beneath us is a living organism. Feel like a planet isn't a living, breathing thing, but it is, and we're part of that. We're part of being on her, and we can allow ourselves to be supported by her. And right here and right now, we are safe. So we do that three-pronged approach to feeling safe. Do that nice big deep breath in, a slightly longer breath out, a smile on your face, and just remind yourself that I am safe. Right here, right now, I am safe, and I am held, and I am good. And as you continue just with those nice, deep, conscious breaths, we'll send out a little prayer for humanity, because it's not every day that I'm feeling super aligned. and I'm celebrating that, and I want to send out that high vibration to anybody who needs it right now. Anybody that's might be feeling a little bit off, a little bit confused, a little bit scared. And I'm sending out these vibes because my cup is overflowing at the moment, and that's a nice place to be. So yeah, sending out to all of you and anybody and everybody. And I'm going to laugh because that just makes you feel good too. And there's plenty to laugh at the moment. There's plenty to giggle at, to smile at. It's been a good day, definitely. And yeah, what was my intention? My intention for this 24 hours was to be present and ask my body what it needs and enjoy my food. And I did. And what I'm also celebrating is taking longer to eat my food. It was cauliflower in a gluten-free, dairy-free little batter, which was really nice. And I had avocado salad with some sweet potato fries. And I just took a long time to eat it because I knew the food was nice, and it was really nice. There was plenty of it as well. And I wanted to enjoy it all. And I really did. And all I had when I got back was this evening I had a mango, because that needed eating, and that was really nice as well. So I totally enjoyed my food. My intention, excuse me, my intention for tomorrow, because I've got a mentoring meeting tomorrow or the next 24 hours, my intention is to enjoy the mentoring meeting with my Toastmaster colleagues, do some deeper journaling. I've got quite a clear data. I've also got a guy coming around fixing my computer, so because my computer's on a bit of a go slow and needs a bit of alignment, so I'm hoping my computer is going to be in a nice clean space tomorrow as well. And I'm doing some journaling. I'm going to be looking at making more decisions about the March. We're in March tomorrow, so what will March look like? So I'm doing some journaling and intention setting around what I want March to be. So that's my intention. Oh, I'm also talking to some guys on Facebook dating again. So I've got a couple of guys that I'm chatting to, and that's been really interesting because about the last month I was not connecting with anyone. I wasn't really on there very much, but the way it works on Facebook dating is you can see who's liked you, and then you can decide to connect with them or not. And before, I was always having a few people liking me, sort of, every week or so. And then for about a month, I didn't have anybody. It seemed to be like crickets, basically. And then, I don't know, the last few days, it's all shifted and changed. I've had loads. So I'm chatting to some quite interesting people. I haven't had a real conversation with anybody yet, so it's early days. But yeah, that's been quite an interesting. It's always quite nice. I like meeting new people. That's definitely one of the things that fills my cup. And I think that's the other thing. I'm conscious. I'm being more consciously aware of what fills my cup and what depletes it, and recognizing my energy around it. So if I'm not feeling in alignment with doing it, then I'm not doing it. I'm just shutting down the conversation or leaving it until when I am feeling aligned. So that's good as well. So my intention for the next 24 hours is to have more of the same, please. More alignment and more decision making, because that decision about the coffee was super filling my cup, literally my coffee cup. What am I grateful for? Well, I've written down, I every evening before I talk to you, I go through what am I celebrating in my day. So what am I grateful for? Obviously my morning connection exercises definitely fill them up. My coaching call with with my client was amazing. The lovely day with Anne, the coffee and the lunch, being reminded about the toxin bucket in your body, definitely. The new moon ceremony, that was beautiful. The intentions I've got set for spring. Also, what was lovely, moving on into nature, which is the next thing. I didn't take Sophie this morning, but me and Anne sat out with the guinea pigs this afternoon. It wasn't quite as warm as I would have liked it to be, but we sat out anyway and had a cup of tea out there and watched the guinea pigs run around the garden, which was lovely. And this evening I took Sophie out and met some of the neighbours, because the neighbours were out stargazing, and we saw Venus and we saw some of the other planets, though they really just looked like stars. But so that was nice. That was definitely to be celebrated. And yeah, chatting to some interesting guys and feeling on a natural high. So there's a lot to be grateful for. Loving it out in nature and ingesting. I've told you about the food that I ingested today, which was beautiful, and I didn't have to cook it myself, which is even more worth celebrating. I'm very grateful for that. And what have I been telling myself? Well, I've been telling myself that I can make decisions that are right for me, and I can connect in with myself and get really clear on where it is I want to be going and what's important. And I'm going to make the decision and I'm going to stand by it and enjoy it. That brings us on to enjoyment, which is the last one. And today I really feel like I've been more present in the moments and enjoyed them. Really feels like, I feel a bit emotional saying this, but it really feels like I've had a shift. I feel like I've moved on. When I talked about crossing the stepping stones the other day, used the analogy of feeling like I was trying to cross the stepping stones on a river, yet one foot didn't want to leave the stepping stone behind in order to leap forward to the next one or to the bank on the other side. But I feel like I have now. I feel like my foot's moved and I've moved a step forward. That's a good feeling. Yeah, it is. Oh, sorry. A bit emotional, but good emotion. Yeah, it feels like I've moved a step forward. So celebrating that. So, up for a little song. Blig night, my happy. Blig night, the happy in me. BLIGNITE. Blig night, the happy in me. It fills my world with wonder and every day with glee. BLIGNITE. Blig night, the happy in me. Thank you so much all for being here. Samar, nice to see you as well. Hope you're having a great day too. And if you'd like to go through the exercise that I give my clients, that I give myself, this visualization exercise, I'll share a testimonial of one of my clients, because when I went through it with her, she was quite resistant. I don't know, maybe we'll just talk about stuff. And I sort of persuaded her to go through it. I said, well, let's just go through the first bit of the process and see how you feel. And she actually totally loved it. And I've left her with a visualization that she can tap into and listen to, and just gets you feeling in a place where you can see and you can believe where you're going to. And once you've got an idea on where you're going, it helps you feel less stuck if you feel stuck where you are. And if that's something that you want to do, that's part of the Map to Wellness program. And I think what this morning's client did for me as well, is made me realize actually how powerful it can be when you decide to give yourself an hour a week, because that's what I'm doing. I'm working with him an hour a week, and for that hour, it's focused on him and her, and you, if you want to do the same thing, of getting clear on who you are, where you are, but more importantly, where you want to be and who you want to be. And during the process of the exercises that we do, already he can see he's moving up the scale. We do a little exercise to start with to ascertain where you feel you're at right now. And even in the few weeks since we did the initial exercise, he can see that actually you score yourself on where you're at. The score is going up. Then we go a bit deeper and discover how can we make that score go up. And already you can feel the energy shift in him. Actually, he can see where he's going in the future, and he's there. He's there energetically. And once you're there energetically, we just put a few action steps in place to make it actually happen. And it's just beautiful. It really is. So if you're interested, I'm going to be running. I want to run it as a group program. Really. So I'm looking for people to join the group. The reason group program works so well is because, one, it takes less of my time, because if I can only work with so many people one-on-one, but also I can offer it at a lower price point, so it doesn't cost as much money. But also, which is I think most important, is that you get inspired and you learn from other people on a similar journey. So you're not alone, because what I'm trying to sell is a deep dive into your own soul, and that's not an easy thing to sell, because we don't really want to deep dive into our own soul and change things about us. And it's much easier to go to the doctors and get a magic pill. But unfortunately, our doctors don't have a magic pill. And so if you're not feeling the best, or you're feeling your toxin levels have overspilled, and you've got some symptoms that are, even if they haven't got a label to it, you don't have to wait to receive a label to know that actually your toxins are overflowing. If you've got some sort of symptoms, your body's talking to you in some way, telling you that it's not happy, then it's time to make some adjustments. And making changes are not easy, especially when they feel like they're forced upon us, because I know, because I've been making them for the last 7 years. But you don't change everything overnight. It's a process. And the exercises that I've got in the Map to Wellness program enable you to look at your low-hanging fruit. And it might be, especially if you caught it early enough, to change, to lower the toxins in your body, and that they come from all different elements of life. And I've got an amazing tool which takes you through and does a complete self-audit of everywhere that you're receiving toxicity in your life, or where you could be, from the food that you eat, from the products that you use, to the people that you hang out with, to the places that you go, the places that you live. All of those things bear relevance to actually how we're feeling right now. So when we're giving a label of a chronic illness, you're told you've got this thing that is incurable. There's nothing you can do about it. That just is not true. There is so much within our control. And that gets a bit scary and overwhelming as well, because there is so much in our control. And some things we don't want to change. I didn't want to give up coffee and cake. I don't want to give up alcohol. I don't want to give up weed. But I have done. And I feel better for it. Not initially, it's taken years. And that's the other thing. I don't want to be taking years. I want it to be there just like that. But slowly, step by step, I've made little changes, made some little shifts. And I think also over the last few weeks, going through this cleanse that I've gone through and doing it without any crutches at all. I only watched one movie in all that time. That's like a bit of a crutch, being zoned out by TV or a film or something like that. It's not being present. I've felt my feelings. I've allowed myself to be in a low place. I've come out the other side okay. So it's okay to have low energy feelings. And that's taken some acknowledgement, I think, and acceptance. And it wasn't easy, but I feel like I've come out the other side. I feel like I've come out something fabulous. So yeah, if you're interested and would like me to take you through a group program, I want to be starting the group program really well as soon as possible. As soon as I can get more than 2 people, it becomes a group, and it would be nice if you could. I'll make some decisions tomorrow. I'm going to do some journaling tomorrow as we move into March about whether I want to start it as a cohort. I think that will probably be nicer, but yeah, you can join at any time and start making that journey to getting to know yourself better. And if you're experiencing some symptoms in your body that you're not enjoying, whether you've been to the doctor and got a label for it or whether you haven't got a label for it yet, it doesn't really matter. You don't need a label to start making some changes. In fact, it's easier if you don't, because then you've got to peel off the label as well, and the label comes, it's a very heavy, uninspiring, disempowering label when you're given a label of a chronic illness. MS, Parkinson's, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, Hashimoto's, that's not how you say it, sorry, no disrespect, but I can't say, but any autoimmune disease or any disease like that is not a label that you want to be having, because it does disempower you. So my suggestion is, if you're feeling any symptoms at all, or if you've got a label and you don't want to be wearing it anymore, then start the journey to look inwards for your own answers and start the journey of detoxifying your body, because little steps in the right direction will move you towards where you actually want to be going, rather than keeping you stuck in where you don't want to be, even though that place might feel comfortable. And the only reason it feels comfortable is because it's familiar, and we get, as our subconscious likes the familiar, because even though you might not be comfortable and you might be in pain, it's the familiar. You're still alive, you're still breathing, so something you've been doing up to now has kept you safe. And working through your subconscious programming is something else that we look at doing in this program as well. And actually what your beliefs are, because a lot of our beliefs aren't very helpful and they can be quite toxic as well, and bringing them to the surface. And that's what this cleanse has done for me as well. It's brought further beliefs up to the surface to allow them to bubble up, and once they bubble up and you bring awareness to them, you can shift them and change them. So that's really celebration today as we move to the end of this month, then I'm ready and excited about moving into March and towards spring. And if you would like to feel like that as well, then come and have a chat to me, and I can talk about the Map to Wellness program. The sales page is nearly written, so I could be able to send, well, it is written, I'm just putting it on my new platform. So even my business feels like it's moving forward as well. So really exciting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, Elizabeth. I see you now as well. Thank you all for being here. I hope you're enjoying the Blig Night. I hope you're getting stuff out of this. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here, excited about what the future's bringing. And yeah, I haven't felt like that or this naturally high for a long while. So super celebrating. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.